Have you ever opened your bank account, looked at your balance, and felt confused? Not shocked, not guilty, just confused. Because you know you didn't do anything extreme, no expensive shopping, no luxury lifestyle, and yet somehow your money is gone. Then the thoughts start coming in. Maybe I'm just bad with money. Maybe I don't earn enough. Maybe budgeting just isn't for me. But what if the problem is not you? What if the problem is the system you're using? Most people try to control money using effort. They rely on discipline, tracking apps, spreadsheets. But real financial control does not come from effort, it comes from design. And today, I am going to show you a system that works without daily tracking, without mental overload, and without relying on motivation. A system that works even when you don't feel like trying. The real problem. Most people don't lose money in big decisions. They lose it in small ones. A little bit on food, a little bit on subscriptions, a little bit on impulse purchases. Each decision feels harmless. You tell yourself it's just a small amount. You convince yourself it doesn't matter. But over time, these small decisions add up. This is financial leakage. Not one big mistake, but hundreds of tiny ones. And the worst part is that you don't even notice it happening. You feel like you're doing okay, but your bank balance tells a different story. Now, here is where most people go wrong. They try to fix this by tracking every expense. They write down everything they spend. They install apps. They monitor every transaction. And for a few days, it works. But then they stop because it takes too much effort. And once they stop tracking, everything goes back to normal. The problem is not lack of awareness. The problem is that the system depends on constant effort, the shift that changes everything. Here is the idea that changes everything. Stop trying to track money. Start controlling access to money. Think about this in a different way. If you want to eat healthy, you don't sit there counting calories all day. Instead, you remove junk food from your environment. So even when your willpower is low, you still make better choices because the system is designed that way. Money works the same way. If all your money is in one place, you will spend more than you should. Not because you are careless, but because access makes spending easy. So instead of trying to control yourself, you control the system, the three-account system. Now let's build a simple system. You only need 3 accounts. Account 1 is your survival account. This is your main account for essential expenses: rent, groceries, bills, transportation, nothing extra. This account keeps your life stable. Account 2 is your future account. This is your wealth building account. Savings, investments, emergency fund. This money is not meant to be touched. It exists to protect your future and give you long-term security. Account 3 is your freedom account. This is your lifestyle account. Eating out, shopping, entertainment. This is the money you are allowed to spend freely. No guilt, no stress, because everything important is already taken care of. Automation. This is the most important step. Automation. The moment your income arrives, you divide it immediately. You do not wait. You do not think about it later. You make it automatic. For example, if you earn $30,000 per month, $15,000 goes to your survival account, $9,000 goes to your future account, $6,000 goes to your freedom account. Now your system is set. You don't need to make decisions every day. You don't need to track every expense. Your money is already organized. The advantage of simplicity. This system works because it is simple. Most systems fail because they demand too much effort. They expect you to be consistent every single day. But real life does not work like that. Some days you are motivated. Some days you are tired. Some days you don't want to think at all. A good system works even on your worst days. This system does exactly that. Once it is set up, it runs in the background. You don't need to keep adjusting it. You don't need to think about it constantly. the invisible limit. Here is a powerful concept. You only check your freedom account. That is your spending limit. If it has 3,000 left, that is what you can spend. You don't need to calculate anything. You don't need to worry about overspending, because once the account is empty, you stop. This creates a natural boundary, a boundary that does not require discipline. Emotional freedom. Money stress is not just about money, it's about uncertainty. When you don't know if you're doing okay, every expense feels wrong. You question every decision. You feel guilty even when you spend small amounts. But with this system, everything changes. You know your essentials are covered. You know your future is secure. You know your spending is controlled. That clarity removes stress. It replaces anxiety with confidence. Real-life example. Let's take a simple example. A person earning $30,000 per month. They follow the system. Half goes to essentials, 30% goes to the future, 20% goes to lifestyle. Now imagine this person spending money on food or entertainment. They do not feel guilty because they know their savings are already handled. They know their responsibilities are already covered. That is the power of a system. At the end of the day, you do not need a perfect budget. You do not need extreme discipline. You need a system that is simple enough to follow consistently, because consistency matters more than perfection. The best system is not the most advanced one. It's the one you actually use. So start simple. Set up your system, automate your money, and let it work for you. Because one day, you will not just have more money, you will have more control. And that control will give you something even more valuable: peace of mind.